Right, in this video, we're going to do something a bit different because we've been focusing on sort of like text and, text prompts to produce, well, more text effectively. And one of the fantastic things about, Copilot is, Dall-E 3 integration within that. So we've got obviously got chatgpt 4 in terms of the processing side of things, but I've also got the creative aspect, in terms of, well, generating images. So again, you just need a good prompt, really, something which is specific. I haven't gone into too much detail with this one here, but you can see create an image of Stonehenge with druids at dawn. Let's create in the style of Lego, and it generates 4 versions of that. And you can see I've pulled this one up here, which actually works quite well. I'm quite impressed with these ones using the kind of the designer part of that you can see down there, powered by Dall-E 3, which is fantastic. And this is obviously using the kind of education kind of like license, so you've got to be log yourself in using the Office 365 accounts, and you've got access to this. And it gives you 4 versions of the image, and again you can just go back and say, okay, well, now I want to do it in a different style, I want to add something else in there. So it is a fantastic way of creating visuals. And so the next one, I've just gone back to Christmas Carol. So here I've just done, in the style of a Victorian periodical. So I kind of like generated this, and they're not always exactly perfect what you're looking for, but in terms of something visual, maybe to go on a knowledge organizer, or something in terms of discussing, I should say, characters. In this case, from a Christmas Carol, and maybe students annotating things. It's a really good way and a very quick tool that you can use to generate something, visual. Now, some of the problems I've had this with is sometimes it doesn't always generate the content. So when you do launch Copilot and you're choosing your tone, if you set it to creative, and then you shouldn't have any issues generating images. If you do, if it says something about signing in, then it might be a case of just signing out of your Office 365 account and signing back in again, and it should clear any issues and sort of like create the image that you want. So again, I've just carried on. This one for MFL posters in classrooms. So you can see here I've focused on Paris, kind of retro style. Visit Paris, the city, and couture. So the problem you'll find is that in terms of like creating text, is not the best. So it does take a couple of attempts to get it right. I would avoid having too much kind of text on there. So you can see here we've got the love, visit Paris. So it doesn't always work very well with text. So within your prompts, you might want to be very specific in terms of what text you want. So for something like Paris, it's absolutely fine. It seems to pick that up very well. But more kind of text, which I think we had on this one here. You can see it's just kind of like at the bottom there. It's not really sort of like anything at all. It's good for the style, but beyond that, probably not. So again, you can apply this to different sort of subjects you're looking at, or this one, I love this one. This was I did this one for DT, and it was to create a DeLorean car in low poly style, I think it's called, that you can see there. Again, I might then change it to maybe like a 2D image, maybe on graph paper, hand drawn, or something like that. Just it's a nice starting point, but it does come with some really good visuals. And the last one here, so just again to sort of like look at how we can use Copilot from in different ways for different subjects. So here I've done one which I think I did a year 8 lesson on painting styles. Let's take an image of a cat and recreate in the style of Monet. So you can see it's done that. It's created at the bottom there. If you have a look at, I don't know if you can just see that very well. I don't know if you can see it on this one. It doesn't seem to come up very well. There's like very faint. There at the bottom it says an image of a cat in style of Monet with soft brush strokes. So you can see it's kind of like it's created like the kind of the prompt basically from my sort of like very basic sort of initial prompt that I put in there, and then added a bit more. So what I could do, and hopefully this works now, let's change the style to I don't know, let's go Picasso and see what it produces. I think that's it now. Let's go back Picasso instead. Right, I'm doing this one. Hopefully it works. So if I set that off, what you will find, it might be a bit slow to begin with, but it should, hopefully not take too long, which is why I pre-did a lot of these. I thought I was going to take too long, and then we'd just be sitting around whistling while it's generating an image. So it should come up with, we're going to try and create your image now. There we go. Try and create the image style of Picasso, and you should get like a placeholder there. That's what you want. That means it's working. It's doing something. It's not obviously not the image of a cat in Picasso, where it might be, but you can see it's creating the image. That's what you want to appear. I have had problems in the past where it's led, okay, I've done your image and there's nothing there. So it might be a case of going back and just possibly signing in and out. So again, you've got the completely different style here in terms of the prompt that you've created. So it might be a useful way of creating some quick resources in class, or spot the difference. Not to spot the difference, but whose style would this be, or picking out 4 which would be the kind of like Monet style instead. So I really like this. I think it's a fantastic feature, which is obviously free of charge. It's a nice way to break up the text, which you kind of like generate a lot of, and you can use this across all sorts of different subjects, different kind of like lessons or whatever it might be, just to sort of like generate something very quick. You don't have to go off and say, okay, well, I need to find an image off Google Images or whatever. I can quickly generate something, and I can sort of like go back to it and sort of like again just modify it if I need to. So that is using Dall-E 3 within Copilot, and you can see I've done very basic prompts, but even so, I mean the kind of like what it's created, I would say I'm happy with that. That's pretty much what I wanted it to do.